Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Well, I'll tell you what. I was today wondering what could happen as a distraction or an excuse to put off these debates. And I was thinking maybe something having to do with the beach being BOMB'd by with using American missiles, and that was my worst case scenario. Well, still a possibility, but I can tell you this: uh, a big shock with Julian Assange was breaking about an hour or so ago, and I've been watching that. Getting a little aggravated with some of the coverage because it's just nonsensical. Some of the speculation, but we know what's going on. And I'm curious as to who cut the deal. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Diane. Hi, Ronald. Gloria. Kim, MS Motorsports. How you doing? So, I'm sitting there listening, and there's this one guy who kept on saying over and over and over about Julian Assange. Well, if he goes in front of the federal judge, is there some way the federal judge can just kick out the plea deal and he'll be in U.S. custody and he's going to be in big trouble? Over and over again. And why are they taking him to a courthouse in Guam? Why are they doing that? The deal is for him to go to Australia. What do they want to do? Drag him up here to a New York federal court, sit next to Donald Trump? They're taking him to a district court in Saipan, Northern Mariana Islands, U.S. District Court on U.S. territory. So it just makes it a lot easier. And no, a judge is not going to rescind or deny a plea deal or however deal they want to call it, made between three different nations: the United Kingdom, the U.S., and Australia. So no, it's a done deal. The only thing that people really need to worry about, especially Julian Assange, is engine trouble, if you get my drift. Engine trouble. What did Putin say? 70% of all plane wrecks in the West are targeted. Okay. So anyway, they said we've been hearing about Julian Assange's health. We've been hearing that he had a TIA, transient ischemic, it really should be TIA. What's the transient ischemic stroke? But they call it a TIA. But anyway, they call them mini strokes. It's really not. It's a temporary, transient, moves on. And luckily, people do recover from those. And on the screen, let's see. Hi, Em. I saw you over there at Frankie Panky's. Andrew, how you doing? Wanda. Ha ha ha. That's right, Wanda. Jerry, how you doing? No, I don't think he's brainwashed, Jerry. I think this is. Well, I'll go ahead and jump ahead. Hi, Wayne. Hi, Yvonne. Kim, he's on his way to. First, Kim, let me explain to you. And a lot of the people in the Twitter threads that were discussing it really just brains sparking off with all kinds of crap and not using their kidneys. I'm poking the side of my head now. Their kidneys. He's going right now from the UK to Thailand. They said for refueling. But our time tomorrow afternoon, which will be Wednesday morning in Saipan. Tuesday night will be Wednesday morning in Saipan. He has to appear in court. So he will go via private jet to Thailand to refuel, head to Saipan for this hearing in front of this judge. And then he is scheduled to go to Australia. So that is the plan. Everybody on Twitter was getting themselves all confused with the time zone difference. Well, if we got to be in court Wednesday, how is he supposed to go to Australia? And then how's he supposed to? Well, that's because it's a half a day ahead from where you are, Twitter person, in DC or New York or wherever you are, Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, they got to take into account the rotation of the earth and how far away continents are. Time zones. Hi, Linda Marie. Hi, television shows. Yeah, they might try to take him out. Hi, Miss Leonard Sue. Like I said, you got to watch out for engine failures. But anyway, so I'm going to jump ahead through, I'll go over this stuff with Assange, but I want you all to think about a possibility. Trump put out a truth that said, on November 5th, all will be on display. All, A-L-L. That means a lot. That covers a lot of things. What things? All things. Wow. Okay. Hi, Gary. How you doing? So, yeah, Linda, I'm glad you caught a live stream. I talked with somebody briefly on chats. Yes, was it earlier today or yesterday? They said they can't get on chats, and I don't know if they're blocked, and I wrote their name down. I don't know what to do about something like that. Are they blocking people from my streams? I know they're taking down notifications, or the notifications are just automatically dropping off. I don't know, but it's distressing. So anyway, it appears to me, now we've got to remember, and many of you know what I'm talking about, some of you who may not. Australia and the UK are part of the Five Eyes. And it doesn't mean eyes, and I know most of you know what I'm talking about, but this is for the benefit of new people coming in. It's not like eyes in your head. It's like the letter I, short for intelligence. The 5 intelligence countries that we share intelligence with. And the Five Eyes stepped in it when they got caught. The people that were in charge of the government at the time, the intelligence agencies at the time in the Five Eyes, were playing ball with Brennan, Clapper, Obama, Hillary, trying to sabotage the Trump administration and also spy on his campaign. Like Trump said, we caught them all. Remember that Trump went and got submission. We saw videos. We saw him actually do it in real time, where he went right when he got in office. He hit the ground running, and they submitted to him. Okay? Trump is a leader of this international military police action. All right. I don't care what anybody tells me, and I don't care if anybody laughs at me. I don't care what they don't know their rear end from third base. Okay. So, yeah, they're going to play ball. And why would Biden want Assange free? Some people were speculating because it would make him look good for the debates. Some people are speculating that he will have some sort of strict silence requirements. I mean, of course he's not going to directly be able to talk or do anything. But I don't think that the amount of people in this country that know who Julian Assange is going to have an effect on any kind of voting for Biden. I don't see it as being a boost to his election. In other words, I don't think Biden had anything to do with it. Hi, Pappy Two Bears. Hi, Doc Honeycutt. How you doing? I think it was something that came about. They couldn't say no. And I think it's knocked them off balance. I think it's knocked the Biden administration off balance. Because if you remember, Biden has done everything he can to try to extradite Assange to America for God knows what. A lot of people think the Biden administration was successful in getting McAfee, or however you pronounce his name. And we haven't seen a dead man switch go off for McAfee unless they intercepted it when they blew half that Florida building to the ground that his son had an apartment in Florida. You all remember that? Shortly after that building collapsed, they got McAfee. So he may have failed, and he may actually be gone, McAfee. Hi, Larry. So anyway, yeah, Paul Ryan was the first to have a dossier. Who'd he give it to, Ronald? Who'd he give it to? They gave it to the C.I.A. or FBI. Who was it? See if everybody remembers. Who did Paul Ryan give the fake Clinton dossier with the lies about Trump and Russia to? You misspoke. How'd you misspeak, Larry? Yeah, I guess. But anyway, I don't know. We'll see. It's not something I think that is going to rattle Mr. T's cage. I saw Julian Assange boarding a jet to go to Thailand, and he didn't even use handrails. He marched right up the steps of that airplane 10 times better than Joe Biden ever could. Hands free, no rails. So, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Television shows it was McCain. Mark BAZ says McCain. Who else got it? Television shows was the first one. It was John McStain. I meant to say McStain. I can't say his name. Cameraman, how you doing? Christopher Steele wrote the that pile of garbage? Larry, Christopher Steele. And then Paul Ryan got it, and John McCain took it to the FBI, vouched for it. He vouched for it. McStain. So anyway, if you remember a little bit about the history of Julian Assange, Hillary Clinton was caught on hot mic saying, "Can't we just drone him?" She wanted to have him droned when Obama was in office. Biden was vice president. He was probably saying, "Yeah, can't we drone him?" So now there's two scenarios here. Since there's no benefit to the Biden campaign because of just a relatively small percentage of people know who Assange is or what his impact is, it's either that the white hat camp got him out so he could make sure that everything would be on display November 5th, or the black cats pulled strings, twisted arms, did whatever to get him out of there and set up some kind of mishap in the future, very near future, a piano fall out of the sky or something like that. They're going to try to do that anyway. But I am leaning more in the direction that the UK and Australia are playing ball with who's really in control of the country right now as far as major decisions and direction, not domestic political items. Who's really in control is the military. Okay, combat operations commander. So my hope and the belief I'm leaning towards is that this was something that caught the Biden administration off guard, and they had to go along with it. Remember, New Zealand, that's Australia's neighbor. I showed you the posts where they played ball by giving Hillary and her camp, all her staff members were given these satellite phones that were supposed to be very secure, high-level secret. You guys can do whatever you want with these things. And we already had them things tapped, but they grabbed them up and used them, thought they weren't being watched, and they were. Because why? FISA works both ways. That's why. FISA works both ways. So anyway, yeah, fake Tapper sweating. That's what I was going to talk about before this Julian Assange, just out of the blue. I was thinking to myself, man, I was thinking in earlier broadcasts that Trump might take the cool route, Mr. Cool, Mr. Nice, Mr. Approachable. See all these terrible things they're saying about me, and look how nice I am, look how respectable I am, look how smart I am, and look how they're fibbing about me. Everybody knows those trials and those court cases are fake. Fake news, fake cases, fake charges, fake felonies, fake lawsuits, fake. The word of this century is fake. So, but then it gets in your mind, just like Miss Mindersu was saying, Jake Tapper's getting himself all worked up. He is. He's there in a trick box. I mean, because the chatter is going about that it's going to be 3 against 1. They've got those earpieces, Dana Bash and Jake Tapper, Joe, remember the last debate with Trump? And all the pictures I had of him were in my phone that got zapped from outer space. Had those wires running all up inside his suit. Remember, he had the black eyes. They were talking about the what do you call them? Contact lenses that have little screens in them. They got the top of the line technology to put him in robot mode. And so they're in a new level and stage of deception and psyops that they don't want to have to go to. When you get a rat trapped in a corner like this, where they're being exposed, when they know what's going to come out of their mouth, they try to try to sound serious, they try to sound believable, but they know that the majority of the people are going to know that they're liars, that they're exaggerating, they're being mocked. All right, they're going to be, and it's going to get to these people. I don't care how many times they've been on TV in front of their little 200,000 audience or 250,000 watching their show. Maybe after so many hours they get a couple million views. No, you get to this level of pressure, international, worldwide pressure, bigger than the Super Bowl. Make the Super Bowl look like a puppy show. And what if this is something the Biden administration didn't see coming? Assange being released. What if and Tapper and Bash and all these news characters that usually get a hint of what's going on or a leak of what's going on didn't hear nothing, and this lightning bolt hits kaboom. Because what was one of the big things Assange was talking about? I guess I could say his name. But a young man who got mugged, right? Used to work for the DNC. His parents won't let Sean Hannity talk about him. You guys know who I'm talking about. Joe Scarborough is up next. Yeah. Well, yeah. When you have the president of the United States pointing out that your aide, your secretary or whatever she was, Seth, Wanda got it. Television shows said, yep, there it is. Wanda got the last name. Television shows got the first name. Now that Julian Assange is set free, they're going to be clamping down on that name because John Podesta, his emails were intercepted by WikiLeaks, and he mentioned getting rid of, through Wetworks, the young man named Seth, last name Rich. Yeah. They'll have to roll out. That boy had a $25,000 Rolex. So anyway, what do you all think? Who do you all think arranged this situation with Assange? The goodies or the baddies? The goodies or the baddies? I think it was the good ones. And I think it's going to knock them off balance. Remember, the clock is ticking. They got to be ready Thursday night. And here, this is going to make international news. And tens of millions of people who don't even know what we're talking about, don't know about young man Mr. Rich, first name Seth, and they may know Julian Assange, but They don't know the extent to where he was. People have forgotten about the debates back with Hillary in 2016 when Trump said, I love WikiLeaks. I love WikiLeaks. And Hillary saying she wanted to drone him. They don't remember that stuff. But now's the time to start reminding. Oh yeah, they're going to those airplanes better be very well looked after. All the Supreme Court cases come out Wednesday. Oh, well, we'll see. And we'll see what Judge Eileen Cannon is going to do. She had Jack Smith on the hot seat. So, about his financing. But you know what? I'll just finish this up with Julian Assange. We could talk about it some more, but a lot of the commentators on Twitter are saying, oh, everything he's been through. Julian Assange, he needs to just lay low and recover, retire, live out a quiet life, all the terrible things he's been through, like hell. You think he's been through what he's been through to just go lay low? He might for a few minutes. Well, he's going, somebody put in and said, I wish it was a civilian court hearing it or something. Well, it is a civilian court. It's a U.S. district court in a U.S. territory. It's not military. What's going on with Julian Assange? It's not military. Just so some people don't get it mixed up. But they say that he's going to have to lay low and he's going to have to keep quiet as part of his plea deal and blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? Since it's federal, who can pardon him? Who can remove all restrictions? And they know that. It'll be one more reason for them to want to keep Trump out. What was canceled, Debbie? Hi, Tennessee. What was canceled? Not Project Bluebeam wasn't canceled. They're going to pull that card out whenever they need it, along with the Jimmy Carter card. Roland, you think Pompeo tried to off him? Yeah, Jerry, you're right. The Podestas are Satanists. They didn't cancel the debate, Debbie. You're the first I heard somebody say something about it. What's their excuse to cancel it? Hi, Ravens Wings. How you doing? Yeah, that's expected, Diane. And well, I was thinking the debate. I'm saying, man, they could do anything to if they feel Joe's not ready. I was thinking, well, Russia could do something about the beach attack. They could have some other disaster somewhere. But then again, if Carter passes away, that's going to be take over the news cycle for a week. So you're saying the grandson says the medicine's not working anymore. Hi, Bubba. So it's going to be surprising because this debate, Fake Tapper and What's Her Face are going to be on blast. They're already looking bad. You saw the clip where the one girl was cutting off the Trump spokesperson. She was very polite and nice. She couldn't even get 2 words out. She was going to bring up about some of the nasty stuff Jake Tapper has said about Trump and his supporters, and she cut her off. It was rude and obvious, and Tapper is acting all snippy and nervous because people are going to be looking for them if they had their way. And that's the flaw that these people have. They live in their own bubble in their mind. And they think that they can get on a world stage and talk to Trump like he's a dog, talk about his supporters like he's a dog, be rude to him, and anything Trump says back, they think they can act like victims and get away with it. Well, you saw how it worked on CNN when there was a town hall, and what's her face tried to do that with Trump. She ended the town hall 20 minutes early because he would not let her run over top of him. And that's what they're going to try to do with Trump. Zaza, how you doing? Hi, Lori. So anyway, Assange is he's not going to relax and lay low. He might do it till at some point Trump is going to pardon him, and a lot of stuff is going to come out. And people were saying, well, what if the judge flips on this plea agreement? Well, Biden wouldn't want to appear like a betraying. They're getting him out of custody in the UK, bringing him to a U.S. territory to do what? To betray him? I mean, you talk about looking like a two-faced creep in front of the whole world. Go ahead and arrest Assange in U.S. territory and go back on your word. There's no way they're going to do it. Unless I'm missing something. And don't forget that Julian Assange was working with Chelsea Manning. What was that person's name? Charlie beforehand? I forget. Anyway, so he's pleading guilty to one count of unlawfully reviewing classified information. It's some kind of cheesy verbiage in there, but they're saying that his sentence would be 5 years, and they're giving him credit for the 5 years he's been in UK custody. All right, a Five Eye ally. But don't forget, he was 6 or 7 years prior to this. He was locked down in was it Peruvian embassy? I mean, the man's been 10 years or somewhere around that, where he's been in very difficult prison-like conditions. Yeah, all that stuff's going to come out. Victoria Nuland, the B.O. Labios. Banana Republic of Abomination, and bro for short. So, I don't know. What's your all's guess on the debates? So we got Monday night right now. We got Tuesday, Wednesday. We got roughly 71 hours, 70 hours from now. The debates are supposed to be starting. One says the debates will start, and two says the debates will not. What if you all care to guess? Will we have debates Wednesday night? One for what did I say? One for yes and two for no. Most people says the debates will not go on. Mark says they will. Debbie says he heard it was canceled. Thursday night, right, Lori? This is Monday night. Got Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. That's 3 days is 72 hours. And we're about an hour and a half into the scheduled start time if you're going by Washington, D.C. time. Hi, Island girl. So I said 70 hours from now they would be starting. So I would like to see them start because I think they're all off balance. You know, usually they're in the driver's seat. Usually they have the holier than thou line of crap lined up. But they see how many people showed up in the Bronx for Trump. And then they see not one person, three of them, Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Jamal Bowman, three of them show up in the same place. And they only got a couple 100 people. And a lot of those people were raising the devil with AOC and Jamal and Bernie about Palestine. Ran them off. And the media don't know what to do about this. Gary says it's going to be AI. 25,000 showed up in the Bronx. I was going to say 20. You're probably right, Miss Mindersu. Probably was 25,000. Jason, how you doing? Well, I was listening to some people that were talking about the kind of medicine that he takes and talking about his State of the Union. How much better he was functioning, but they don't ascribe to the notion that, first of all, he was just reciting his year prior State of the Union. It wasn't new. It was recycled. It didn't take as much rote learning and memory as a debate would. They're not taking that into account, and they're not taking another thing into account. It was a year ago, or, well, the State of the Union one a year ago, but was that really, why do you have such a rubbery face? Okay. That's why I'll put it that way. He was Rubber Face Joe. Rubber Face Joe. Is Rubber Face Joe going to show up? So, let's see. I got a message. Cameraman, stop by, buy me a coffee. Boom, boom, boom. I appreciate it, cameraman. I thank you much for stopping by, buy me a coffee. Thank you very much. Hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? That's right, Jason. ADHD medication. There's all kinds of medication. There's medication we don't even know about they use. Thank you, cameraman. Boom, boom, boom. Gave me 3 booms. Gave yourself 3 booms. That's good. You know, one thing I noticed that I talked about in the past, the last 3 speeches Trump gave, he talked about unions. And what did he say? He said, each time I work with the unions and they bring the concrete trucks. He said they bring other things, but mostly with the concrete trucks. And I'm just bringing that up because I mentioned how when Rudy Giuliani was in charge in New York, they busted the mob out because they tried to take over the concrete business and get a chunk of every concrete job in New York City, and that is what brought them down, that specific deal. And Trump said 3 times with the unions, well, they bring the concrete. Unions do a lot more than concrete trucks. Why would he do that? He's reminding them. He's reminding them because they tried to approach Trump. But what happened was, oh, you guys want to cut? Yeah, we want 4%. And that's what it was, 4%. Sammy the Bull Gravano said, there's no way, you're going to get yourselves in trouble. Don't do it. Okay, well, let us know who all gets a cut. They found out who all the heads of the families were. Oh, this is a guy. This is a guy over here in the Bonanno family, the Colombo family. You get a cut. That's how they found out who were the big cheeses in the family. What's in the cut? Well, what was Zaza is how Rudy Giuliani ended up busting the heads of the 5 families, getting solid evidence who was behind it, and that they were a corrupt entity, was when they tried to corner the concrete jobs in New York City. Yeah, where's my thumbs up, Lori said. Roland says a fake Biden. Well, you know, if push comes to shove, if his medicine doesn't work, you know, it's just like with Carter, his grandson saying the medicine quit working. And in somebody that's in advanced age and illness, you can't give them a medication vacation. I talked about that with Hillary. They put her on a medication vacation, so when they started it back up, it would keep its effectiveness. And that's what I suspect they're doing with Joe right now, weaning him off. So when they put him back on, it will maintain an effect. But when you're in your late 90s and approaching the end of your life, they can't give him a medication vacation. So it's at the point now where the medicine doesn't work. At least that's the story they're putting out there. Hunter Biden was asking for a new trial, but they changed their mind. Use zeros, Zaza, when you put that word in instead of O's, because that's a touchy word. But yeah, that's what they say. BONESs. Yeah, I heard that too. But yeah, BONES is what they put in there too. So we'll see if Julian Assange, because his hearing will happen tomorrow. And will his plane make it there? Will he make it there? Will the judge backstab him? Who knows? But tomorrow evening will be Wednesday morning in Saipan. Speaking of 98-year-old, 90-some-year-olds, I didn't know this. How many of you heard this from the mainstream news services? The story I'm going to tell you right now. Because I haven't heard it anywhere except when I saw this UTizzle video. Remember when I said Dick Van Dyke? I played a little clip of Dick Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke was saying, I think I'm being lied to. And I said, boy, that's a good sign because Dick Van Dyke is a liberal. And we got an ancient 90-some-year-old liberal that is starting to say, somebody's lying to me. Well, he won a daytime Emmy. He went to the Emmy Awards looking sharp. He was using a cane, but he went to get his Emmy and give his speech. Did you all hear about what he said in the speech on the mainstream media? Let's see if anybody got it. Who was he talking about? Don't goggle it. No goggling. He said somebody was doing whatever it took to get a part in Hollywood. He was calling out somebody for using the casting couch. Any idea who? I didn't see it on TV, but it should have been. He does his big speech, winning a daytime Emmy at 98 years old. And he calls out somebody very famous for trading in their body, all right, their morals and their body for any part they could get. Yeah, I saw him boarding plane, Jason. He ran up the steps like nothing. Well, he did this 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'm sure it had something to do with Weinstein, Jerry. He said this 2 weeks ago. No, it was a famous female that is very high society. And nobody reported on it. He said it 2 weeks ago and nobody breathed the word. I'll say this. They married into blue bloods. Not Penny Marshall, no. She may have, I don't know. I'm sure Sharon Stone did too, but this is somebody relevant and a big name. Well, I'll go ahead and tell you. It's very embarrassing. Dick Van Dyke shocks Hollywood as he exposes Meghan Markle and her Hollywood secrets. What is she, a duchess now, or she married into blue bloods? She married a member of the royal family. She's young. She's living in the U.S., but that's okay because Trump said with this drug use going on, they can both be deported, right? Who'd she marry? Was it William or Harry? What an embarrassment for that, as you say, television shows, redheaded royal. That's what the thumbnail says, except spells the whole thing out, WHONNRE. Yeah, so that's what he said. And the thumbnail, yeah, it's got those words on there. WHONNRE. So anyway, what are they going to do to Dick Van Dyke? He doesn't care. Well, one person we haven't heard from, except, well, she may have had some stories out, but the last thing I remember about Catherine Herridge, remember her? Catherine Herridge, I played a short video clip where she was saying things are ripe for a black swan event. I thought about that when I was thinking, hey, things are not looking good for Jack Smith. There was an article out that all of the cases against Trump are on life support. Joe Biden might as well be on life support and going to be going up to one of the biggest television events in world history. What better time for a black swan event, right? So I thought, well, I hadn't heard anything from Catherine Herridge in a while. Remember, Catherine Herridge is getting fined some exorbitant amount. Is it weekly or daily? $3,000 or $4,000 about her sources. If that was a member of the mainstream media, they would be raising the roof and they would be screaming about First Amendment and freedom of the press. But you don't hear a peep out of them. Yeah, they're fining her that much daily. Yeah, she's a CBS anchor that got fired. And they confiscated all her notes, raided her office, took her electronics. Nobody's saying a damn thing. Well, she put out an article. You want to hear it? Catherine Herridge drops her first story as an independent journalist. This is from Citizen Free Press. Army and National Guard accused of abandoning a 24-year-old soldier with, quote, debilitating heart condition, unquote, that internal memo linked to I'm back. Was that a warning shot? Was that a warning shot? I lost 10 people off. I tell you what, I'm glad you all stick with me. I know the ones that stick with me. I get plucked off my broadcasts. I didn't touch anything that would do that. Took me right down when I was getting ready to talk about something nobody else is talking about. And I got 10 people, oh, I want to go watch something else. They got the attention span of a goldfish. I can't stand that. I just assume they stay out of the broadcast. Thank you all for hanging in with me. And if you all, of the 10 who left, come back and broadcast, I hope you rewind and hear what I just said. Fair weather patriots. Anyway. Yes, a heart condition, and Catherine Herridge is reporting on it, and it has to do with the MR and then NA, okay, VA and then X. And I'll just say her name, Catherine. I won't say her last name, so I don't end up getting plucked off here again. That's right. It's so anyway, new military records confirm that the soldier's heart injury was, quote, in the line of duty, and details her account of, quote, complications since receiving the second dose. And this is from the company MOD Erna. Mod Erna. Mod Erna. Hope that goes through. And they did not respond to any of her questions, Catherine's questions. Army Specialist Caroline Stancic now faces over $70,000 in medical debt. And this is called Episode 1, The Cost of Following Orders. The cost of following orders. So that's what Catherine Herridge is doing now. Reporting on stuff that's going to rattle a lot of cages. And I'm glad she's doing it. And I have to get a copy of this, a 44-second clip of Jake Crapper, okay? Fake tapper, comparing Trump to Adolf, okay? And us, his supporters. And I shared a copy of that on Truth, and then the other word is social, telling everybody to spread that clip around. The cone of silence, yeah. Thank you, Miss Mendersu. That's right, Larry. You spelled it right. Use the right words. People can still read it. And Gary said, let's go. Military course the only way. That's right. Nanoparticulate. Yeah, that stuff's dangerous. Well, they came over here, the paperclip, okay? So anyway, I got to get a copy of that little clip. You know, I tell you, I like watching, looking up Citizens Free Press. They put out, I put out that video, and then everybody was putting it out today about that judge who got a wig knocked off her head and got herself arrested. Well, I heard she's going to lose her judgeship. I doubt that's even going to happen. But she assaulted a police officer. She was drunk in public. She resisted arrest. Stuff that would get you and me a lifetime of misery, okay? Felony convictions, loss of firearms, not being able to vote, years in jail, whether it's 2 years, 5 years, whatever. She gonna lose her judgeship? Okay. Boy, that really shouldn't have even been in there in the first place. But this isn't Georgia, but this is close as far as a public official. Released body cam shows Colorado State Senator Faith Winter showing up intoxicated to a legislative meeting. She showed up drunk. Turns out she drove drunk to get to the meeting, and it was so obvious, apparently. She drove there while drunk and parked in a fire zone. She's now facing an ethics complaint. Yeah, right. She was also the main sponsor for a bill requiring educators to use a child's, quote, chosen name or face charges of discrimination. So she's going to have an ethics complaint. Once again, you, me, or anybody else gets caught riding around drunk, parking in the fire zone, going into a public building. If you were a teacher, if you have any position in a corporation of responsibility, if you work for FedEx or UPS or something like that, your career is over, okay? It's going to cost you 10 grand to go through the process. She's going to get an ethics complaint. Okay, we see how that works. So, what do you all think Canada is going to come down with on the immunity for Trump? I mean, the Supreme Court is going to come. I was listening to some of the oral arguments today, pre-recorded. I just wanted to get a feel for who was doing what, saying what. The bottom line is, and anybody who can't see past their nose, any simpleton who can't see that we can't have either party, a president, being chased down and arrested by any number of prosecutors from any county in any state who wants to make a name for themselves, who are corrupt, okay, who are ideology, their ideology is insane, and or whatever other malady they may suffer from. You can't have that kind of power given out for them to chase down and arrest the president, charge a president, period. So they've got to come down on the side of immunity with boundaries, okay? And the boundaries are already in the Constitution. Congress can impeach. The president's cabinet can remove a president, okay? Not a lot of people know that. And the military can also take action. They can refuse to follow illegal orders. That is exactly what I was talking about with the Emperor of Japan. MacArthur declined Truman's desire to have Emperor Hirohito tried and executed. MacArthur said, no, I don't think so. And he didn't do it. So there are safeguards in place already, built into the Constitution, into the laws of war. And I think that's where the Constitution is going to come down on. Now, with Judge Cannon, with the gag order, well, it's not just a 25th Amendment, Jason. Basically a loss of confidence. So Diane says T will get immunity. Mark says full immunity. Zaza says he'll get it. Probate judge. Yeah, well, they're in with the like the old joke. It's a big club, and you and I ain't in it. Exactly right, Gary. It's going to be a restoration of our republic. And if these people on the Supreme Court uh, dissent, they need to be, they just don't understand what the Constitution is all about and what a democratic republic is all about. They're not on board now and can't see the dangers. They're not fit to serve. So with the gag order with Eileen Cannon, you got Jack Smith's crowd and Jack Smith saying we need the gag order for safety because people are in danger. Well, I understand that today she was asking for them to file specific examples of what they're talking about, not just a bunch of gibberish and finger pointing nonsense. So are they going to mail themselves white powder or pull a Jussie Smollett somewhere? They got to file by Wednesday. I believe it's Wednesday. All these things are happening the day before the debates. And with Jack Smith, it's like, who put you in this spot? Why are you here? Like Yoda said. Yoda said to Luke Skywalker, why are you here? What's your budget? Unlimited. How does that work? Did Congress approve that? No. Who approved it? So they're on pins and needles and they're attacking Cannon left and right, saying she's a rookie, that she's timid, and she's letting Roger Stone and Donald Trump push her around. That's one's on this side. On the other side's no, she's a Trump acolyte and slowing things down on purpose. Nobody's pointing out the fact she's being thorough. She's uncovering destruction of evidence. She's uncovering improprieties with the whole process, and nobody. They can't force her off. They can't force her off. The only thing I'm wondering about is if she doesn't go through it, have they got enough evidence on the books, in the record, because that's what I think these court cases are about. Declassifying things in a lawful way where nobody can argue it was improper. And did it get enough of the creepos out of the woodwork? Did he get enough of the creepos out of the woodwork? I'll just look through the chats. All right. Oh, and Congress sent a letter demanding that Joe Biden have a cognitive test. I mean, a drug test. And I would say it's a 3-page letter. I might read it tomorrow or parts of it tomorrow, but I took screenshots of it, and you could see it on Truth Social. They're demanding that Biden submit to a drug test. Do you think he will? No. Think he'll take a cognitive test? Maybe after they got him all doped up, but I don't think they'll even do that. But it's a 3-page letter that I read about half of it, and it's pretty interesting. And it puts on record, okay, it's going to be filed away in the congressional record, not all of, but a lot of Biden's missteps and potential documentation of potential criminality, all right? And it reminded me back in my salad days. It says CC, and then underneath it's got all these names. Kamala Harris being one, Secretary of Defense being another, blah, blah. CC means carbon copy in the old days. That's what CC means. And we used to put CC means carbon copy, backslash, 3 initials. 3 initials. And the 3 initials stood for whoever typed the letter or took the letter during dictation and typed it, your secretary or executive assistant. So it would be CC backslash 3 initials. And I had my letters used to say carbon copy backslash MDS. And I went, I don't know how many years, and I would send letters off somebody and say who I sent copies to. And somebody came to me and said, this stuff is typed really nice. Who's MDS? I said, oh, that's my daggone self. But that was a long time ago when you had those mechanical typewriters. Well, actually, IBM Selectrics. You remember those? You could type really fast with those things. But anyway, a long time ago. I can't type now. I'm lucky I can peck at this phone. My daggone self, that's who MDS was. My most faithful assistant. So Trump discussed a documentary. I'm going to mention this. I don't like bringing up bad things, neither does Mr. T. But he says the documentary, quote, screams before silence, unquote, is incredibly difficult to watch because, sadly, it graphically portrays the death and destruction that Hamas has unleashed. I urge people to support the documentary and watch, if you can, if able. We demand that all hostages taken October 7th from Israel or being held in Gaza be released immediately, including 8 Americans and citizens from over 20 other countries, so this war can come to an end. Peace through strength. How many people know that there are 8 Americans being held over there as hostages? How many people know or even give a hoot about the American citizens who are still stranded over in Afghanistan? All right. And it really makes you sick when you watch these people acting up. One, they're either too ignorant to know or care to know. 2, they do know and don't care or encourage it. So that's why I feel our military has been busy, okay, along with the white hats in the FBI. Busy going through social media posts, busy going through videotapes of events, okay? And one thing they have got to do, people who are foreign-born naturalized citizens who fake their way in, and it's going to be a lot more if Biden gets his, Biden gets his fake citizenry done with this amnesty. But anyway, strip them of their citizenship if they engage in violence or encourage genocide or discrimination, strip them of citizenship, and deport them back to their country of origin. Okay, if they damaged universities, if they menaced and threatened people, yeah, and you can prove it. You don't come to this country and are granted citizenship for promoting and conducting violent activity, period. Automatically stripped your citizenship and removed from the country. That's the way it used to be. And that's the way it's supposed to be right now, but they're not doing it. So anyway, folks, let's see what happens with Julian Assange tomorrow. Let's see what happens with Jimmy Carter. Let's see what happens with Mr. T. Let's see what happens with Judge Eileen Cannon. And day after tomorrow is what the notions are about Supreme Court decisions. Okay? So it's a big week with the highlight of the century so far is going to be this debate. There are going to be other highlights of the century, even bigger. And I appreciate Cameraman for helping me out this broadcast, and Gary's helped me out in the past. In the last couple of broadcasts, I really do appreciate it. And Miss Sue and Mike and Bev, Lone Wolf and Zaza's helped out too. Yeah, Pappy Two Bears, Angela, I seen you. Robin helped out. Roland's helped out. Richard, I appreciate it all through last week. So thank you so much. I do appreciate it. You all have a great night. Let's keep our chins up. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. Hit the like button on the way out if you forgot to on the way in. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. So I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.